My
Chicago.
my husband's an attorney. He just received his certificate for like 4 years or 5 years over the web. So.
ABA has distributed temporary distance learning guidelines. You know about those, right?
No, I don't.
Oh, well, it basically says go ahead and experiment. Just don't do anything in a core course or help me here. I think it's a seminar course or
Where can I get those?
Their website.
On the website.
Section of legal education.
Okay.
Or attend the workshop next week, which will be one of the main topics of discussion at Chicago Kent, also sponsored by CALI and Lexus. Sorry about that.
No, I mean, I'm not here. I'm not here to tell you. I just think that it's, you know, sometimes you see there's some momentum happening, and people are solving this for themselves. They're also, I mean, there are also institutions that are taking curriculum and delivering it to students outside the United States. And I've been, Rensselaer is offering technology classes in China. There was a Duke is offering engineering classes in Singapore. And there's a lot of prestige because there's nothing better than an American education, and that's a tremendous export. Pardon?
Nothing better than American education.
Yeah, well, there's open universities.
Accidental.
A lot of people value, some people value a degree from a higher institution from the United States. but I have to tell you, I was at the Engineering Deans Institute, so the engineering deans meet once a year, and they meet, I think I was in Puerto Rico at the time. We always try to support their events. They were in Hawaii this year. So we were there, and they had a whole symposium on distance learning, and I was all excited about it because I thought, wow, they're going to talk about how do you make a more meaningful, you know, how do you embed technology into the learning experience? How do you make it a more meaningful learning experience? They spent the whole time talking about how they were going to pay their professors, and their professors are tenured are not going to use this technology. And some would Duke, you know, said or produced it up and said, well, all of our teachers are producing content. Rector says, well, none of ours are doing it. And I was amazed because it's kind of like those are the problems that are going to need to be resolved. How's the business run with this new technology?
Sure, it's maybe the only problem.
Right, it could be. I mean, out of all these equations, trust me.
It's the only problem that once it gets out, then the rest of them may flow from those very tough decisions that we end up making. Are we going to steal the IP from our professors, or are we going to let them in on part of it?
Right.
You know, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah. I mean, it'll happen. Trust me, the easiest part of all this equation is technology. It's kind of like, we've done it. You get to figure out what to do with it. But in fact, there is momentum, and those that figure out how to do it are going to find that it is an advantage, not just as a tool that can be used, but as possibly a resource that gets you into more students. In California, especially in Northern California, we have a lot of high-tech people at the age of 32. They're retiring. And so what are they going to do? Well, hopefully they're going to start becoming philanthropists. But if they don't, they may want to go back. I know a person, huh?
Go to law school.
Yeah, go to law school. There you go. Uh-oh, there you go. Nothing like that. So a lot of them are going back to school. But, you know, they have their boat, and they have their house in Fiji, and so there's all sorts of problems how you address those people. But it is, and in law school, I mean, like I said, my husband's an attorney. He has to constantly upgrade his skills. You know, where does he get that? We'll try to get him into a classroom. I mean, it's really difficult. So there's also kind of funky things he takes with those classes. Now he's connected. He's looking at web classes. So maybe not a big area of interest for this group, but it's an interesting time. Like I said, the business model is changing, and we're interested in kind of just working with people and some of the best practices that are being done. There's no cut and dry answers. The results aren't in yet, but you just kind of get the feeling that it's coming. You kind of feel it behind you, breathing down your neck. So you have a tremendous challenge. Ours, we just have to keep creating bandwidth and faster CPUs. It's pretty easy. So, well, anyway, thank you very much for inviting me here.